Hi and good evening everyone, and welcome to Ebony Empress on tropicalfm.com. Hope you've had a great week. If you haven't, time to have some fun with me. So tonight we are looking at more power within you, which is our overall subject for this show, but particularly looking at daring to be good. So daring to be good, how do you dare to be the greatest thing that you can be? So more than good, great, okay? I've got Suli Breaks in the show with me.
Hello.
And Suli is a spoken word artist. He's a poet. For those of you who don't know what spoken word is. But been around for a while and has some really great spoken word that he will share with us tonight. Okay, so lots to look forward to there. Just want to tell you guys that I have Don Juan and a Triple X in the studio with me tonight. They're supporting me through this show, and I just want to say thank you guys. We're actually missing Purple King tonight. He's not well. So, Purple King, if you're listening, we hope you're better soon and that you're back with me next week. Oh, I'm missing you already. But Don Juan's doing a great job. Okay, and got to thank him for that. So, yeah, great. Look after yourself and get better soon. Right. Also to say that if you want to engage with us tonight, and I'm sure there's some of you that want to ask questions of Suli, our guest, and you might just have any comments that you also want to make about the show and where it's going, and some of the issues that we bring up through the poetry. If you want to, please Skype us if you want to on tropical_FM. Or you can call us on 01582 877 308. That's if you want to come into us live in the studio and ask a question or make a comment about the show. You can also email me on ebonyempress@tropicalfm.com. Okay, so lots of ways to engage with us. And we look forward to having you all with us for the next 2 hours. Hey, I'm feeling cozy already. And I hope you loved the song we came in on. Thank you, Dina. It wasn't particularly meant to be, encouraging the gospel theme, but I'm glad that you enjoyed it. We want to make people smile, and I hope you are all smiling with us and enjoying the show. I want us to start off with a song that, I don't know, are we ready for another song? Okay, so we're not ready yet for the second song. So we're going to talk a little bit with Suli about the show and what he's bringing to us in terms of poetry. I know that the first poem that you wanted to recite almost tonight is R.I.P.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we get to R.I.P., tell us a bit about Suli. What have you been doing up till now? How have you come to this point where you are now?
Basically, I guess Suli Breaks as the figure himself, myself, it probably began towards my second year of uni, where I've actually kind of discovered what I could do poetically and started to kind of project it to people, to an audience. And from that point on, I kind of just expanded on it. Okay. But that's when I first kind of discovered Suli Breaks within myself. I've been writing for a long time, but I never really expressed it through that poetry until that point in my life whereby I was asked to do a show, and I kind of did that one, and the response was very positive. And from then on, I just continued, and it kind of snowballed from that into something a lot bigger. And ever since then, I've just been performing in and out pretty much all over the country. And I've also expanded it to a visual aspect, whereby on the internet I've started making spoken word videos, which is something quite new in its nature, and it's something quite different. And that's pretty much a quick summary of how I've ended up at this point as an artist myself.
Okay. So when was this time that you actually started? What year was that?
second year.
2009?
2008.
8, okay.
In the second year. I got my friend Elizabeth here with me. She went uni with me as well, so she can give a bit more insight. She was there at the first show, innit? 2008.
Okay, so 2008. So what was the inspiration then that brought out the poetry or brought out spoken word?
Well, it's something that I knew I could do. Like, I knew I could write like something compelling and a piece, but what gave me the platform was we had an ACS, which is African Caribbean Society. We had a show, and they asked me to come and contribute towards the show.
Right.
And the only way in which I knew to contribute would be my writing skills, and poetry was kind of the best way for me to express it, unless I did it with music, which I'm not very good at. So I just thought, let me keep it plain and just express it through the written medium, and that's where it came from.
Okay. So what was going on in your life in 2008? What was happening in your life in particular in 2008?
Well, a brief summary of it, it was like I was in university. Physically, I was in university, but mentally, I was a bit in a limbo, whereas I didn't really know what I wanted to do with myself. Even though I was studying a particular course, a particular subject, it wasn't really where my heart was, and my mind was kind of just in all different places, me trying to find myself out and figure out exactly what I wanted to do.
Okay. So were you having any, because I've listened to the poetry, particularly R.I.P. Was there anything that was happening in particular in the community that made you think about writing that particular piece?
Oh, during that 2008 period when I started writing, I don't think I was mature, or not even so much mature or aware enough to address topics such as R.I.P. because I didn't write that till a bit later, maybe a year afterwards, when I realized that people actually listened to what I was saying and they would actually take in information. So at that point, when I first started writing, a lot of it had an underlying meaning. There was a bit of depth to it, but a lot of on the surface level, a lot of it was quite comical. Okay. And the first piece I wrote was a piece called "'Cause I Had a Dream," and that was kind of just inspired. That was kind of just inspired by it was an African Caribbean show, and it was just kind of inspired by the nations and everyone around us, like our kind of cultural background.
Okay.
And in terms of my mind state, I didn't really start touching on subjects or issues on a deeper level until I actually understood that people actually listened to what I was saying, and I kind of had a responsibility
then to get a message out.
Just every once in a while. I mean, I'm not a serious guy, like, completely, but I mean, every once in a while I might say something which touches me. And when I wrote R.I.P. at that time, an incident had occurred which kind of provided inspiration for that.
Okay, so what was the incident?
Of R.I.P. I had to perform at an event, and there was a DJ who was going to be DJing at the event, but prior to the event, he was murdered, stabbed at a club or something previous to that. And I think I didn't know him personally, but a lot of people, I knew him, and there was quite a big shock to the community we were in, and there was quite a big impact, and everyone was mentioning it. And I thought, wouldn't it be like a good tribute if I went to the event and performed a piece which kind of addressed that topic?
Okay.
But I even went to the event. I didn't end up performing it till maybe 2 years later. But that's when I wrote it, and that's what brought it.
Okay. So should we hear R.I.P.?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear it as a start off to get people going. We're gonna find a way to work with Don Juan.
Don't worry about that. That's cool, man. I was about to go in on the beat anyway, man. I was just about ready.
So you got a beat to come on? No. We're ready to hear the piece. So he's gonna do the spoken word piece. Okay, let's go with that, and then we'll play the music after.
Okay, no problem. R.I.P. It's a tribute to all the victims of gun crime and knife crime in London. It goes like this. When I say R.I.P., I don't just mean rest in peace. I mean rewind it, please, so we can remain in peace. I had to read it properly to get it right in perspective. Because we reside in poverty, but don't want rights in property. We'd rather rob innocent people, because he gains respect in popping me. That's the real ignorant philosophy. We need to reject its prophecy. Stand up and R.I.P. Rep it properly, cause raw its peak went from rice in peas to rifles in pockets, ruining interstate projects. Raw its apart turns to riots in parks. Raw I impede, remember I plead, the realness I preach. We have reminders in present. Why'd you think Damilola Taylor Center, R.I.P. remains in Peckham? Rise in position, life, remember its prize. Can you say rude boy, it's principle, but really it's pride. Raw, I've preached, remember it please, but if you don't, just remember this piece. So next time you hear me say R.I.P., know that I don't just mean rest in peace. I mean rewind it, please, so we can remain in peace. Peace.
Love that. Thank you.
Thank you. You're not making me shy now. Thank you.
Don't get shy. Yeah, so, yeah, people give us some responses in the chat room about how you felt about that poem. And if there's any questions that you want to ask Suli about it, I mean, now's the opportunity to do that. But yeah, I love that one. That one I thought was very poignant. You know, there's been a lot of knife and gun crime in the UK in the last few years, particularly in the last few years. And it's good that you kind of come forward with that piece, which really sums up a lot of the feelings of the community. So well done.
Thank you.
So we're going to play. Now, Don Juan, you get your chance. We're going to play Where Is the Love? Okay. And it's by Quest, which is a group from West London.